How have you found, in comparison, directing Macbeth and directing Romeo and Juliet?
Well, with Macbeth, we are reliving an existing production that Iqbal directed, and so it's a different task. It's trying to recreate as best we can what Iqbal intended.
And how about Romeo and Juliet? How is that?
Well, that's more fun because we're starting from scratch on that, so you know, you've got more freedom to create. So more freedom with Romeo and Juliet.
How much structure do you step into the room with, and how much room for discovery do you leave?
I think it depends. Different directors have different approaches, and I think some directors have a very clear vision, picture in their heads of what they want. But I think I'm very much a believer in if you trust the creative team around you, they can provide much more interesting possibilities than just one person on their own. But you know, I suppose I come from a tradition where in Poland they had a very strong mode of directing whereby designers, visual artists would become theatre directors and filmmakers. And so there would be directors who, like Cantor, for example, he was an artist. You know, he was a painter, a sculptor, but he became a theatre director. So he created pictures, and that's what he did. He created pictures. So the actors became objects within that picture to fulfill a role. You'd never find actors saying, "What about if I did this?" We'd be like, "What? Nothing to do with you. You just stand over there."
It'd be the worst thing for me.
But here you have similar things. You have directors who have very clear ideas of what they want. What do you want from a director, actually? It's probably a better question.
Clarity. I think that's one thing that's really needed from a director, especially when you're trying to make work, to be able to understand what your director's aims and objectives are, where they're trying to go with certain things. Well, like you said, with the whole collaborative sort of feel, in order for me to be collaborative, I need to understand what you want.
Yeah, I think, the big word was what Samantha said. I think it's like collaboration. I think creating an atmosphere with a director where there isn't sort of a hierarchy that makes the process unhealthy and a status game, but rather it is a case of, you know, you hold that power as a director, but it is a collaboration gives the actor freedom to discover things themselves and bring ideas to the table as well.
Yeah, I think kind of just to echo what you guys said, I think having like a vision is really helpful, but within that, through the rehearsal process, allowing the actors to kind of explore within the context of that vision, and then finding kind of different possibilities, and then choosing one of those.
And it's also different. Like for different productions, different directors,
different
you will
plays
need
as
different.
well.
Exactly, you'll need different things to work on. So clarity in a Shakespeare play, and what else? What would you in a physical theatre show having an understanding of a framework? So this is what we're working on. This is how we're creating, and that's the relationship depends on what the subject matter is.
Oh, and another thing as well is like atmosphere, and what the atmosphere of the play is, and kind of cultivating and finding that atmosphere within the company. So, for example, if you're doing like a farce, then to find that sense of ridiculousness and play and silliness within the company is really helpful.
Because I think it's important as a director to, you know, atmosphere. I think the world to, you know, make sure the actors are all in that same world. Because I've been there in the audience when you've seen shows and you've got half the cast in one world and then the other half of the cast in a completely different world, and it just clashes and it doesn't fit. And I think it's important to have an outside eye for that.
Yeah, that's so true.
Emily?
Inspiration. Their ideas give me ideas, and also with the collaborative nature, like a non-judgmental space where you can put an idea out there, and if it's bad, it goes, but it's fine, you've not been criticised or judged for it.
Fantastic. Come on, let's do some directing.
Let's do it. Yay!